The Industry Hub is a 501c3 nonprofit organization focused on declining jobs, emerging opportunities, and the impact on the people. In this example, we look at Dallas, Texas. Dallas is one of the healthiest economies in the United States today. By looking at the GDP graph, you can see the projected growth through 2021. Although the economy is healthy, there are areas of weakness that represent opportunities for critical evaluation. Let's take a look at what's going on behind the scenes in the economy for Dallas, Texas. In this graph, pay particular attention to those industries in transitioning and in the mature phase of their product life cycle. We want to pay specific attention to those companies in transition. Those include manufacturing, advanced materials, biomedical, wood products, textiles, and more. Of particular interest in the Dallas market is computer manufacturing, which is in the mature phase of its product life cycle. This graph, provided by the Texas Workforce Commission, verifies the loss of jobs between 2006 and 2014, showing that manufacturing has lost 34% of the jobs over that period. You can see the job loss in these other industries. Let's take a different look at what's happening in the Dallas market. This employment by industry for the second quarter 2016 shows that manufacturing is only 7% of the employment in the Dallas market, 21% being trade, transportation, and utilities, 20% professional and business services, and 18% education and health services. The economy is thriving today, but what about the future? In order to help future think for the Dallas market, we need to fully analyze the impact of job loss in declining industries. The largest immediate impact is in the manufacturing area. The September 2016 Bureau of Labor Statistics report confirms the Federal Reserve Board's projections of a decline in manufacturing, with a total employment of 2.4 million in September 2016. The total number of current manufacturing jobs, according to this report, represents 11% of the total employed workforce. By looking at the total non-farm and selected industry supersectors for employment, we see that the Dallas market has lost manufacturing jobs twice the rate of the national average. This is also confirmed by looking at the Texas payroll employment in the manufacturing sector. Preparing for the future. As the role of technology plays a more intrusive role in the impact on the workforce, it's imperative that we create a lifelong learning society. Technology is growing exponentially, yet we're still educating our workforce with the 19th and 20th century models. Technology needs to play a greater role in education. Radical changes are required on how we educate people in preparing them to enter the workforce. We need to start with the STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math programs, and help our future workers be nimble, open to new learning, and challenged to look at new technology as a path to their future. These same models need to apply to ongoing workforce development. The speed of change is exponential. The amount of technological advancement that occurred in the year 2000 occurs every 1 hour and 6 minutes in 2013 and will occur every 30 seconds in 2020. But here's a shocking statistic. 65% of children starting primary school today will end up working in jobs that don't even exist yet, and their future training is crucial. Let's look at some major paradigm shifts that are happening right now. From the chip to the system, from applications to architecture, from products to platforms, from bits to atoms. From the chip to the system. With the amount of information used in daily life, we have to shift our approach from the chip to the system. One approach, called 3D stacking, could simplify combined integrated circuits into a single three-dimensional chip. This will require entirely new chip designs, and it could increase speed significantly and allow progress to continue. From applications to architectures, the emphasis is moving from developing new applications to developing new architectures that can handle more complexity. Neuromorphic chips based on the brain itself will be thousands of times more efficient than conventional chips. When we choose to use a specific application, our devices will automatically be switched to the architecture, often but not always made available through the cloud, that can run it best. From products to platforms. Platforms are important because they allow us to access ecosystems. Some platforms connect ecosystems of retailers to ecosystems of consumers. The App Store connects ecosystems of developers to ecosystems of end users. Technology companies learn to embrace new technology platforms because they give it access to capabilities far beyond their own engineers. From bits to atoms. The future will look very different than the past. Digital technology is beginning to power new areas in the physical world, such as genomics, nanotechnology, and robotics, that are already having a profound impact on such high potential fields as renewable technology, medical research, and logistics. It is too easy to get caught up in old paradigms. When progress is powered by chip performance and the increased capabilities of computer software, we tend to judge the future by those same standards. What we often miss is that paradigm shift, and the challenges and opportunities of the future are likely to be vastly different. In an age of disruption, the only viable strategy is to adapt. Let's take a look at the projected fastest growing industries in the workforce development area for Dallas, Texas from 2014 to 2024. You can see that the miscellaneous non-durable good wholesalers are projected to grow about 80%. Home health care services, outpatient care centers, offices of other health practitioners, continuing care and assisted living facilities, management and technical consulting services, medical and diagnostic laboratories, highway, street, and bridge construction, nursing care facilities and skilled nursing, and individual and family services. What actually contributes to a healthy economy? We need a skilled workforce, we need good infrastructure, quality education, and research and development. Let's look at some game changers. Next-gen computing focused on data and storage. Advanced prosthetics using tools to augment the human mind and body. Mobility, creating new approaches to transportation and logistics. Synthetic biology, using engineered biological products. Computer vision, using applications of artificial intelligence to interpret and act on visual data. Drug discovery and diagnostics, using software and artificial intelligence to improve R&D and more accurately diagnose conditions. Connectivity, using innovation in networking and communication. And geospatial data, using startup collecting data sets to determine and understand the physical world. Let's take a look at some of the top 10 emerging technologies. Nanosensors and the Internet of Nano Things, next generation batteries, the blockchain, two-dimensional materials, autonomous vehicles, organs on chips, perovskite solar cells, open artificial intelligence ecosystems, optogenetics, and systems metabolic engineering. With the Internet of Things expected to comprise 30 billion connected devices by 2020, one of the most exciting areas of focus is on nanosensors capable of circulating in the human body or being embedded in construction material. Built from inexpensive microsensors and microprocessors, paired with tiny power supplies and wireless antenna, are rapidly expanding the online universe from computers and mobile gadgets to ordinary pieces of the physical world: thermostats, cars, door locks, even pet trackers. One of the greatest obstacles holding renewable energy back is matching supply with demand. Recent advances in energy storage with better batteries could solve this problem, enabling emissions-free renewables to grow even faster and making it easier to bring reliable electricity to the 1.2 billion people who currently live without it. Blockchain is the technology behind the Bitcoin digital currency. It's a decentralized public ledger of transactions that no one person or company owns or controls, fundamentally changing the way markets and governments work. The caution is focused on illegal transaction and the ability of law enforcement to curtail money laundering. Two-dimensional materials are emerging in a wide range of applications, from air and water filters to new generation of wearables and batteries. This technology consists of a single layer of atoms, and it has a far-reaching potential. The rise of the automobile transformed modern society. It changed where we live, what we buy, how we work, and more. As cars and trucks became commonplace, they created whole classes of jobs and made other professions obsolete. We're now on the cusp of an equally transformative technological shift in transportation, from vehicles driven by humans to vehicles that drive themselves. The long-term impact of autonomous vehicles on society is hard to predict, but also hard to overstate. The only certainty is that wherever this technology becomes ubiquitous, life will be different. Organs on chips are miniature models of human organs the size of a memory stick that could revolutionize medical research and drug discovery by allowing researchers to see biological mechanism behaviors in ways never before possible. The silicon solar cells that currently dominate the world market suffer from fundamental limitations. Perovskites, a wide-ranging class of material in which organic modules are formed into a three-dimensional crystal lattice, can be made much more cheaply with fewer emissions. Manufacturers can mix up batches of liquid solutions and then deposit the perovskite as thin film on surfaces of virtually any shape, no furnaces needed. The film itself weighs very little. Why is the open artificial intelligence ecosystem important to our future? Over the past several years, several pieces of emerging technology have linked together in ways that make it easier to build a far more powerful, human-like digital assistant. These ecosystems connect not only to our mobile devices and computers, and through them to our messages, contacts, finance, calendars, and work files, but also to the thermostat in the bedroom, the scale in the bathroom, the bracelet on the wrist, even the car in the driveway. With the internet connection, with the Internet of Things, and your own personal data all instantly available almost anywhere via spoken conversation with an AI, could unlock higher productivity and better health and happiness for millions of people within the next few years. Optogenetics. A breakthrough came in 2005 when neurogeneticists demonstrated a way to use genetic engineering to make neurons respond to particular colors of light. The technique known as optogenetics, built on research done in the 1970s. These developments mean light can now be delivered deeper into the brain tissue, something that could lead to better treatment for people with brain disorders. And now we come to systems metabolic engineering. With recent advances in synthetic biology, systems biology, and evolutionary engineering, metabolic engineers are now able to create biological systems that manufacture chemicals that are hard to produce by conventional means. In one recent successful demonstration, microbes were customized, implantable biodegradable polymer used in surgical sutures, implants, and prosthetics, as well as in drug delivery materials for cancer and infections. Now let's go back and look at the projected fastest growing industries in the Dallas market. 6 of these classifications are healthcare related. That means that no new dollars are coming into this economy. This could form a real challenge for the growth of the economy in the Dallas market. The biggest hurdle to new technology is the cost of development and market introduction. This will impact every community. It's up to the communities to determine how successful they want to be. How much are they willing to invest in technologies of the future? This future will determine the tax base, community growth, available service, and the very fabric of the community. A coalition between public-private entities is imperative for future healthy communities. Current funding of technologies is achieved in several ways. They can be self-funded or grants through government like federal, state, and local, angel investors, or banks and local funding sources. As we evaluate declining technologies, each city needs to decide the makeup of their future community. A failing proposition is for communities to passively wait for the market to improve on its own. Active development needs to take place at the community level, involving all layers of economic development, education, workforce development, social services, and more. Communities need to rethink how they want to develop jobs and opportunities for their citizens. If communities take a passive role by just waiting for the market to develop, they will see stress in their markets, creating an inadequate tax base, leading to disappearing revenues and missed opportunities. With the velocity of change, communities need to be nimble and have a continuous development program for job development. Communities need to change how they think about job development, continually analyze the market, develop a rapid response team to respond to unforeseen changes, and actively participate in developing funding sources for research and development and new business incubation. After all this discussion, the most critical point is what happens to the people. We've seen from recent reports that a lot of the contribution to the unemployment is based on a skills gap. 1/3 of the U.S. economy unemployment rate is due to the gap between skills and open jobs. What role does education play? How do we change the paradigm, and how to respond as a community to make sure we provide opportunities? Unemployment has a profound impact. The loss of income to support a family. The psychological effects include depression, increased drug use, crime, and more. Less overall spending, leading to decreased GDP because of decreased spending, and other businesses suffer. Community ripple effect, lower tax base, decreased property values, lower sales tax revenue, increased demand on social services, and many other stresses on community assets. Creating jobs is imperative to a community's health. We need to identify new technologies which create new jobs. Create ongoing training programs to update skills and knowledge. Invest in emerging technologies. Create investment partnerships. Create evaluation and review criteria for future markets and job potential. Put these technologies into a format that allows continual monitoring. Evaluate to make sure the funds are being used appropriately to actually create jobs. What happens if we don't take steps to create a stronger, more productive community? Look at what happened in the 80s and 90s when whole industries shut down. Remember the Rust Belt? These communities did not intervene or take any action, and they're still struggling today. The result is poverty, crime, drug abuse, and other negative results. Let's work together to create the community we want. Remember, we're all in this together. By creating opportunities for all, we create a more productive, happier, and safer world. The Industry Hub proposes to work with cities, companies, and other stakeholders, including educational institutions, to help identify common goals and implement new strategies. Identifying these opportunities will require significant investment in time and resources. To that end, the Industry Hub seeks to develop partnerships with these stakeholders to ensure a healthy community with new opportunities for new jobs and influencing companies to create renewed strategies seeking new opportunities and new technologies. What's the next step? An economic summit would be a good start for bringing stakeholders together to create the planning matrix. Number 1, we need to discuss the economic development in the Dallas market, using a general presentation from Terry Toomey, the Executive Director of the Industry Hub. 2, we need to discuss an overview of how all stakeholders can work together to accomplish positive community outcomes. 3, identify goals, milestones, and needs to launch the project. And 4, identify and develop funding sources. This presentation has been brought to you by the Industry Hub. Remember, the Industry Hub is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our focus is on creating healthy communities. Please email Terry at terry, Terry, Toomey, Toomey, at theindustryhub.org. or call 972-665-8160. We look forward to hearing from you and working with you to create a healthy community. Exhibits within this presentation have been referenced and credited from internet and other sources. Those materials remain the sole property of the originator.